Hey everybody, Nick here, and in this video I'm here to talk to you about a pretty serious topic. It's so serious that it's very touchy with the YouTube, censors or Ministry of Truth or whatever. I don't know. I've seen videos talking about this on other channels and they seem to get like slapped with a what do you call it, a warning the beginning of the video or whatnot. And I don't know, I don't agree with that. Obviously I don't agree with a lot of things YouTube does, but anyways. And the topic for today is, let's say I can use two words to describe it: self-immolation, or I've heard many people talking about this to sort of like do a code, the way of coding, so that people don't so the YouTube censors doesn't catch it, and that would be unaliving yourself. And I've had quite a few comments on a bunch of my videos because I talk about a lot of truth that very harsh truth about our existence and the harsh truth about humanity and this reality that we live in, and how terrible of a place we live in. And none of us were asked to be brought here. We all came here without permission, without any sort of, just we didn't get to choose to come here. That's all I can say about that. And nobody who's here on this earth today had the choice. So the reality is, let me just change my camera here. The reality is that a lot of people are unhappy. I had a comment actually just the other day at my last video, which was October 28th or whatever it was, saying how people, that the only way to escape the matrix is essentially unaliving ourselves. And I don't agree with that fully, because I think before you want to, in order to escape the matrix or this realm, because we are essentially biological machines, right? And I think you have to come to a realization, and I don't even know if I've achieved this yet, of consciousness, like true consciousness, of being aware of everything. Kind of like, I know that I'm called Nick, but what am I really? I'm all there is and ever will be. All there has been, ever will be, forever and ever. So back to the topic at hand. I will get more into the prime reality and things like that. This is probably going to be a video that'll take a little bit more research, or just planning a little bit. I don't usually plan these videos. They're kind of like whatever comes to mind, and I just wanted to get it out of my, off my chest. And so unaliving yourselves. What do I think about this? I totally understand if the reason people do it is to get out of this hellish earth, this hellish realm, to end the suffering and pain. I totally get it. I do understand why. I mean, I've never been there myself. There's been moments where I'm like, I'm tired of living kind of thing, but not to the point where I wanted to, do that to myself. Also, the other thing is I'm kind of a coward when it comes to that. I know I probably wouldn't be able to go through with it anyways. Just keeping it real. I don't think that I would be able to unalive myself, because I don't want to leave people who care about me with more suffering and pain. Do you know what I mean? Sure, I'm going through pain and suffering almost every day, especially the way I see society going, where I'm currently living, and everything around the world. Just humanity in itself is a complete disappointment and a letdown to me. And I'm sure to many of my viewers, for sure, all 1,400 of you at this point. And it's amazing. I just wanted to say that right now. It's amazing that I have this size community on my YouTube channel in just such a small amount of time, and I thank every single one of you. So I don't think it's the answer. Even if you're so depressed and so down, you just have to remember that somebody does care about you. You know, I mean, we're here for you, our community here. I know a lot of people on my videos comment about how it's very difficult and they just are sick of it all and just fed up with life and having the routine and going to work, and I'm gonna get people probably who don't see what we see are gonna be like, oh, stop being a baby and just, you know, life was what you make it and it's all up to you. Not all of it is up to us. I mean, if only those people can really open their mind and see what a shit show this whole existence is, really, this, at least on this planet. I mean, we don't know what other civilizations are out there. Maybe they have it better. I don't know. But it seems like living organisms, especially highly intelligent ones like ourselves, just seem to go through crap because humanity itself created this system. It's amazing. We created these systems, specifically the 1% of the top 10% of the 1%ers are the ones that are like the ones that created this whole thing, and even they're probably suffering. You know, at some point when you have an absence of love or actually like feeling good about yourself, and I don't mean like the psychotic way, I mean true real love, they probably have no sense of what that actually means, so they're missing that themselves, and that in itself is a form of suffering. So no being is probably going day after day without suffering or pain, including those globalists, the cabal that I talk about in a few other videos. They're just, they just betray their own race, and that's why this system exists. The other theory also is that this system exists because maybe it started off somehow and it kind of, I've heard this theory before, where no one's really in control, and then it just sort of snowballs and gets out of hand, and no one really knows who's controlling the whole thing. That's another possibility. I don't believe that possibility, but that is a possibility. So there's always help for people who are really down and feeling like they want to, end themselves. I just don't think it's the right decision. Like I said, I get it. I totally understand why people are going through that. Sure, there's other factors, and I'm no psychiatrist or doctor or anything like that. I'm not trying to diagnose you. I'm not trying to say what you should do. I'm just saying what I would do if I was in this position. And it's just not the way to go. I think you have to try to really be strong. And sure, I mean, I'm just saying that as a guy who has probably never been in feeling the pain and suffering that other people have felt. Other people are definitely suffering way more than me, 100%. It's like I said in another video, there's different degrees of suffering and pain, and I'm pretty well off considering a lot of people in this world, and I do recognize that, but I'm still in my own suffering. You know what I mean? I don't like when people judge and say, oh, they're fine, they're fine themselves, they have a lot of money, and how do you know what they're going through? You don't know what they're going through. Maybe they lost somebody, maybe their kid got killed, maybe there's a plethora of possibilities as to why someone is suffering. So I don't like this whole, well, stop moaning, you have money and you're living in a safe environment, and like, come on, spare me this crap. It's just, I am totally aware that there's worse, less and high and low degrees of suffering and pain. Anyways, I think that you have to look for something that will make you happy, at least temporarily, because I think happiness isn't forever. Nothing is forever. I always beat the drum of reality and facts, and just, it is what it is. Nothing is going to last forever. Everything is finite in this world. Even sadness, I mean, you could get out of it. There's a way. But other possibilities as to why people want to unalive themselves is just, I don't know whether it's a chemical imbalance. I don't know if it's, you lose somebody close to you, you get into a really deep black hole of despair. You're just sick of everything. And I think most people that are on my channel are just, they see that the illusion of this world and everyone pretending that it's a wonderful place. For me, I mean, some days I'm just like, I don't get how people are so happy. I walk through the streets downtown of where I live, and I'm just like, everyone's just so bright and cheery. And I mean, sure, I'm not always doom and gloom and a downer, but how can you be like that every day? I mean, what helps me actually is when I'm feeling a little bit, down or moody or whatever, I'll just sit in the sun and get like 20-30 minutes of sun. And I'm lucky that I live in a country where I can get sun almost every day and it doesn't get cold here. I know that's hard for some of my viewers because they live in climate where winter comes and all that, but you got to find ways to reverse your, I don't know, I'm just spitballing here. I really don't have the answer, but I can say that I truly understand why a lot of people would not want to be here. There's just so much shit, and especially if you watch what's happening around the world, and then it's easy to say like, oh, just turn off the news and pretend like it's not happening. Well, it is happening. Sure, the news doesn't always show everything, and they like to skew the narrative or pick and choose the facts or what story or what actually happening, but a lot of people are just going through a tough time as well. Even if someone is working, they're making little to no money. Bills are constantly coming in and accumulating debt, and just I think that most of the world is not happy. I really truly believe that. I think that there needs to be a paradigm shift of some sort, and I don't know whether that's coming or not. I've talked to people who I know are in this kind of same mentality and like-minded people like myself and like many of you guys. They seem to believe there's a paradigm shift coming. I don't know. I don't see it happening. I've seen a lot of people wake up, especially in 2020, 21, to certain aspects in which our world is being controlled and manipulated on a large scale, and taking us to a future of utter dystopia. That I will not deny that is true. People did wake up at that juncture, but there was also a lot of people who just went along with it. But a paradigm shift, I don't know that that's going to happen. I don't know whether humanity has a long-term future. I mean, we are not very good stewards of this planet. Let's just be honest. Even if let's say this is a simulation or whatever, we're failing. Whatever test it is, a lot of religious people like to say it's a test by God. I don't buy that. But hey, anything is possible. But we're failing miserably as a race. We are failing miserably as a race. I mean, you can look out through the history of humanity, whether it's accurate or not, pillaging and murdering and killing and just utter greed and selfishness and self-righteousness, egotistical leaders and tyrannical leaders who lied, and I mean, just so much. History is like, if you look at the pages, it's covered in blood. Our hands, nobody's hands are washed of anything. I mean, I don't blame people now of what their ancestors did, because they weren't there then. So that's but coming back to what I was saying, I don't know if there's a paradigm shift coming, but a lot of people I know are not happy, and in 2020, actually, speaking of what I'm talking about in this video, unaliving yourself was happening so much because people felt helpless and alone and just, it was craziness. And I think it spiked like crazy. At least in Canada, I know for sure. It went up, and US as well. US and Canada, I looked at the statistics, and it was just ridiculous how many people were just, unaliving themselves. And whether YouTube's going to allow this video to be allowed to be seen, I'm not even saying anything too much. I'm not condoning doing this to yourselves at all. It's not the answer. To me, I just think we have to fight through this. We have to hang on. I know it's a shit show. I know everything's just so crazy out there, and you're going through a tough time, and the next person that you know is going through a tough time. Sure, some people are enjoying this experience. There's that side of the coin too, but I don't think it's as many as that are suffering, and that's just the way it is. So people probably get to a certain point and they can't deal with it anymore, People unaliving themselves could be for many, many different reasons, but it could be, drugs. People are addicted to certain things, that causes it as well. Accidentally, that happens too. I don't know. It's complicated, but I don't think it's the answer. And if you need help, like if you are someone who's thinking about it, I urge you to seek help. I know people are going to say, then what is the point of staying here? If you're doing all these videos saying how bad it is and things like that, that is what it is. I mean, it's a terrible place to be, but like, I still like certain things, and I like, I try to find some solace in enjoying some things. I'm not a rich guy. I'm well off. I'm not like really well off. I'm okay. I'm well. I have enough money that I can pay for the necessities. So I mean, I can't possibly say what people go through when it comes to not being able to afford certain things. It's got to be terrible. I see it here all the time where I live. I see it. I mean, just today, an older man, maybe 55, 60 years of age, was asking if I could buy some, I don't know if they were like candies or whatever. And I don't usually walk around with cash, so I had to unfortunately decline. But this is happening more and more. Like, it's ridiculous how many people are going without the basic necessities, and that could drive this, the want to not be here as well. But I don't know. I just think you're worth staying in this reality, in this realm. Somebody must care for you. You can always message me here, and I know a few people have said that they felt better even though they had those thoughts. There's not much I can do, but I'm, just know that I feel it. I know what's going on. I see all of this crap, and especially if everything that's going on in the world makes you feel like, what the hell's the point, But I just wanted to give my thoughts on that. I don't think it's the way out. I think I want you to hang on just like I am, and many other people are. And I think I'm gonna stop rambling on there, but let me know what you guys think about this topic. I know YouTube doesn't necessarily like when people talk about it, but I mean, this is another, video on my channel that I like to talk about everything and anything. So comment, like the video if you like the video, and subscribe if you're new to my channel. I'm gonna keep trying to pop out videos as much as possible about anything and everything. Again, if you guys have some video suggestions, some topics, also leave them in the comment box below, and we will see you in the next video very, very soon. Be well. Bye for now.